Hey, Hello, Noble Rick here. This time let's make the hands and the legs of Paimon from Genshin Impact. Check out the Lovely Grounded Fairies, my webtoon, at webtoons.com. The monster disintegrates, yet another face reflects in Baby Eyes' magnifying glass lens. Here's a ratio of the flesh tone on the left to the white on the right. The cream color is very big, but she has a very pale complexion. Though you may want to go ahead and use put a little bit into the skin color as you mix it in gradually, in case it gets too pale. But I think that is the ratio I actually used. It's been early on in the game, so I don't know for sure. We need these 4 additions to our tools: paintbrush, screwdriver, miniature screwdriver, straw, and a drill set. Now I saw that her mantle was looking rough, so I wanted to fix that, fine tune it if you will, and I figured that making these circles with the straw gives me a nearly perfect circle. So I'm using the straw to augment the gray tones. The gray design look really rough, and so I'm altering or adjusting it by adjusting the negative color, or the negative shape, which is the color white in this case. And I'm not rolling this with any more pressure than the weight of it, and I'm not rolling over the edges either, so I don't make the edges thinner than the middle. To achieve that, you rotate the roller 90 degrees, however, roll a little bit in the middle, rotate and roll a little bit in the middle. Now, the legs are about as far from the bottom as the bottom of the mantle is from the bottom. Maybe a little bit lower than the mantle. Here I trimmed away the extra material from the flesh tone, and I'm rolling out legs. This is going to be 2 legs. I'm aiming for skinny ankles, which will be on the outside of this shape, and wide thighs, which will be on the inside of this shape. So there's going to be 2 legs here. So that I don't distort the shape, so I gently roll it, putting the pressure gently down as I roll it with a knife. Here I'm working a knee into the legs. The back of the knee is kind of shallow, kind of concave a little bit there. So we're trying to work on making that. The leg is basically a club. It is white at the top and small at the ankles. So that's the shape you're going for, basically. I was thinking of doing this by the ribbon method, where I wrap the ribbon around the armature, but in fact I did try it, and it was a labor-intensive process. So then I settled on this idea of rolling out the leg, getting the leg in the general shape, and now let's put it on the armature. My fear was that it would be difficult to get it right down the center of this leg. That is the wire, right down the center of this leg. And I did not 100% succeed. As you see, it poked out right there. So I worked it back in, trying to get the, you have to kind of concentrate to get it right down the middle, and right out the bottom of the leg. So I had to work with it. I'm beginning to think sculpting inside the computer would be a lot much easier, a little less hassles, once you get to know the method. I mean, there's a learning curve, and that makes it hard. Okay, here's the legs. Fine-tuned and shapely legs. Now I'm using a medium-sized tool. Drill bit would have been better for this, but I'm using what I have handy, what I have at hand. I have some drill bits, but not this small. And so this is not good for drilling, but it did the job. I had to work it into there to begin with. And I wanted to go in pretty deep because I'm going to sand the concave in this. At where her wrist goes, at the end of her sleeve, I gotta sand a concave in there. That's what the drill is for. The rounded drill bit. By the way, that rounded drill bit is about 1 centimeter or 3/16 of an inch. So I'm working it in there, and I'm marking it with my thumbnail there to show you that basically what I was aiming for was to get it in as deep as the bevel of the screwdriver. In other words, the screwdriver end, all that gets submerged into her sleeve. That was the depth I was going for. Now we're using this round bit, sanding bit, to get that concave. And this is a little tricky, you gotta concentrate. It's me making that noise. Gotta concentrate because you don't want to have it fly off one side or the other. You want to get right in the middle of that sleeve. Making the opening of the sleeve concave at the end of the sleeve. And you see the hole in there, I blew it out. That's where I'm going to put the hand or the wrist. I might do well to make that larger, make the wrist larger. But I think this turned out pretty well. Now let's make the hand. I'm basically carving it out here, shaping it with my knife. Carving out the material from between the forefinger and the thumb, making a thumb, creating the thumb, and basically carving it down to the shape of a hand. The middle finger reaches out further than the other fingers when the hand is laying flat. So I'm going for that there, trim off the bottom, going for a hand shape here. So I'm going to trim at the wrist as well. Trim out a wrist. Carve out a wrist, if you will. And now for fingers. Just remember, we've got 4 fingers on the human hand. 4 fingers and a thumb. I already made a thumb. Now making the 4 fingers. No, I'm just shaping it with my finger a little bit there. And now using my knife to shape it. I'm bending my blade flat to the mat. We'll cut this off. And there we are. A hand. Let's get the camera to focus there. Alright, so that little sleeve, or rather the wrist is a little long. Let's cut that short. And it's a little wide too, so I had to make it smaller. That Q-tip has baby oil on it. The purpose of which is to make that, or to put it into the hole so that the hand will stick to the hole in her sleeve rather than to my hand. You'll see me getting some of that on my finger before I actually get some into the hole. So that's going to make it stick to my hand too. But I'm working with it. Alright, let's do this. Try to get it in there. This will be her left hand. Using the fingers that didn't get the oil on it. Alright. Camera doesn't want to focus. It wants to focus on the mat, not the hand. Alright, so there she is. We've got the hands made. There's one hand. That is the right hand. And we've got our legs made. They're probably a little too shapely because Paimon's a kind of skinny character. So I might need to shave those down. Using the flat of the blade will also help smooth out the legs. Kind of polish the legs up, as it were. While I'm also shaving off some of that material. Because her legs are not that thick, I don't think. So I may trim on that later on. Hand and legs. We're getting there. Paimon's getting there. Now you see I've taken off those stripes on her sleeves because they were getting messed up. I didn't want to bake this any more than I had to. I want to bake it all at once if I can. Because these materials accumulate baking. The polymer clay does. So I'll be putting the accents on her gray accents back on her sleeve later. I'm not messing up the ones on her the base of her uniform so bad. So I left those on there. PAIMON of GENSHIN Impact. Just coming along here. I think I may paint the socks on that she's wearing. But on the next episode, I think we'll be aiming for making the gold, rose gold accents for her uniform. PAIMON of GENSHIN Impact. She's going to be cute when it's done. Check back next time. Thanks for watching.